Welcome back to Satisfactory Update 8. We've already made a lot of great progress, so don't hesitate to check in the video description below for all of the previous episodes. In particular, in the last few episodes, we went into aluminium. We transformed our bauxite into aluminium casing and aluminium alkyd, right? This resource that you can see over here. And with this, we have indeed made a lot of great progress on tier 7, right? We did the bauxite refinement, we did logistic Mk5, so the highest logistic belt, 780 resource per minute that you can have in update 8. We also did the hazmat suit and the overpack, which we're gonna build, and I'll explain in a second how they work. But now we need to get into what I call the late game, right? We're gonna get into the late game, which is this one over here with the drones and tier 8. To do this, and why I call it the late game, is because we basically unlock most of the basic resources, but now we're gonna need to bring them all together to make big things. For example, first of all, we're gonna need to make the radio control unit, which is aluminum casing, oscillator, crystal oscillators, and computers. I mean, each of those things on its own is already a pretty complex factory. Then this is going to unlock even more complex things like the supercomputers, which we're gonna need. We're gonna need to make those supercomputers for, the nuclear power. We're going to need over here also some of those radio control units. We're going to also unlock the fuse modular frames. Once more, the heavy modular frames was already a pretty complex one, and now we need to go even further with this one. And then there is also this cooling system and turbo motor that are also pretty complex. Once we have done all of this, we're not done. Then we get into what I call the end game, which is the phase 4, those 4 big things over here, which are even more complex. Now to do this, we're gonna do something super cool, is we're gonna use the mega factory that we started with also this big railway system to start what I call a bus factory. It is going to enable you to build all of those things in one place without too much complex logistic. But before we get there, obviously I want to show you the hazmat suit and the overpack like I said, and I also want to build actually a couple of new factories. I want to build those late game factories now that we have Mk5 belts, and also to put those new factories on this major train system that you can see over here, right? We want more and more trains, we want more and more factories to bring all of the resources to the mega factory. So that's what we're going to do, in this episode and in the next few episodes. We're gonna build, perfect new factories. A perfect new factory for oil, for example. A perfect new factory for iron, for steel, for quick wires, right? And even the quartz expansion. That's what we're gonna start with. But as I said just before, let's go quickly over here into our equipment workshop to look at those two things. First, the overpack. Taking a couple of motors, a couple of heavy modular frames, computers, and this alkyd aluminum sheet, we're gonna be able to build one overpack. It does consume a bit of energy, by the way, but it enables you to fly without the God fly mode. So with this, as long as there's electricity, you'll be able to fly. I'll show you in a second. Now that we're done with this, let's go and do the hazmat suit. So the hazmat suit is a bit like the gas mask. You remember we built the gas mask in the past, but this is for the radioactive areas. So I'll show you that also in a second, but we do need to build, similar to the gas mask, for the gas mask you need to build some gas filters. For this one, we're gonna need to build those iodine infused filters. So let's go, let's build a couple. We can build maybe 5 or 6. Don't need that many. Then let's put everything on ourselves. So we're gonna want the suit on the body, we're gonna want the overpack on our back that replaces the parachute, right? And so now, as long as you're close to electricity, like over here you saw, got connected. This got connected. This thing over here is showing me that I am connected to electricity. If I press space, I can fly now. I can fly and I can hover, right? I won't be moving. So this is really great when you're building. So we're gonna connect, to different electricity poles, and the further you go, you know, you have to connect to another one, otherwise you're gonna fall. So for example, if I go over here, I'm getting too far and now I'm falling. And of course there's the autosave exactly at that point. And we fell. Now for the hazmat suit, this is not this, right? This was for the gas mask. The hazmat suit is where there is actual radioactive material, so I'll show you that in a second. The hazmat suit is going to be for uranium. Uranium either as, you know, deposit like this one over here, or also, you know, in many places on the map, you're gonna find uranium just like this. Now, when you get close to uranium, you're gonna have this radiation level that increases, increasing the closest you are, right? If you don't have a hazmat suit with those iodine, you know, filters, that's going to decrease your health pretty quickly. Versus now, you can see I can be close. Now this is using the iodine, but at least I'm not dying. So in particular, when I need to start building, you know, a mine over here, building some, you know, conveyor belts and those type of things, that's obviously gonna be very critical to have one of those hazmat suits. That is the hazmat suit and the overpack done. Now, as I said, let's start going through some of those new cities or new mines, starting with the Quartz. Okay, ladies and gents, we have arrived to our Quartz facility. Hopefully you remember or you recognize some of it, because we had already built, you know, this line over here and that line over there, but this is new, and definitely also there's a lot of things new over there. So now first let's recap what's happening over here. So this is where I'm making my silica, right? We're transforming raw quartz and limestone into silica through an alternate recipe. We have the limestone that's coming all the way over here, right? We have 3 mines, one over here, one over there, and one's quite far. So they're all coming there, and this is, each of them is bringing 600. So we definitely have a lot of limestone. As you can see, this is 1 per line, right? 600 here, 600 there, 600 there. Then on the other side, in the back over here, we have our quartz. Now there we're making actually slightly lower, because instead of having pure nodes, we have normal nodes, right? So each of those 3, they're identical, they're bringing 300. So 300 times 3, that's 900. And that we're going to use it all. And this is also why we have those lines that are not exactly the same. Now, hopefully you can see they're all green, so they're all working at 100% forever, but they're not exactly the same. We have 2 lines of 30 assemblers. It's actually 29.7 to be very precise. One of them is underclock, as you can see over here, 6, 8, not even 7, but whatever. And the same on this side. The middle one is slightly different, because we don't have enough quartz to make 3 lines like this at this point. So this one is actually only 20, or to be precise, 19.5, because this one is underclock too. As always, let's take a quick look at the numbers. This is what you can see over here. If we have 1 assembler, this is 11.25 quartz, 18.75 limestone to make the 26.25 of silica. So we have 2 lines of 29.7, right? And that's making basically the maximum we can put on a belt in terms of silica. That's why I did it this way. And it is using 334 of quartz. It's using less than 600 of limestone, so we don't have a problem, but it's basically using more than 300 of quartz. So in the last one, we need to put definitely less, so that in total we can get to basically the 900 quartz that we're producing. And that's why you can see this is 19.5. So in total, we're making more than 2000 of silica, so we definitely have a lot. I think that's enough silica for the rest of the game, hopefully, but we're using all of the quartz. So that's what's happening over here. I mean, this is again exactly the same. Don't hesitate to check in the previous episode in the video description below if you want to see it. But we have the limestone at level 0, we have the silica at level 3, right? And on the outside, the quartz at level 3, and on the outside we have the silica that's being merged, goes up, right, and goes over here where we have a 3 awesome sink to make sure that, you know, this works always at 100%. And then we have those 3 elevators to go into our train. We also have space over here for 3 more. When we get, you know, to Mark 3 and we double the production over here, we could basically double, put a second floor, and we'll be fine. But you may have realized, as I said, that we have a new one over here, right? This one is pink instead of green because it's a different production. There's also stairs there, so let's take them. Maybe before we take them, I can show you quickly, you know, I have made the box there, right? But yeah, if we go down through the stairs, we will see 3 more of these miners, right? And this is 300, 300 and 300 again. So we're talking about 900 here. This is actually 2 elevators. We're gonna see 1 elevator this side, 1 that side, because obviously 900 is too much for one of these Mk5, right? Which is limited at 780. But what you may realize is what I'm trying to do is basically split them, you know, on both sides. We have, you know, all of them, because those 2 are connected over here, and then this one connected there. So they're all connected together, and then I try to split them sort of equally on both sides with a smart splitter. So then that comes, you know, on top, right? We're gonna have one over here and one over there with a line, 2 lines that are basically similar of constructors. We're talking about quartz crystal, right? In this case, not silica. So it's 37.5 to make 22.5. We actually have 12 on this side and 12 on this side, so that's 24 in total. So in total, we're actually talking about 540 of quartz crystal that are being merged over here. There's of course an awesome sink again to make sure it works at 100%, that's why it's all green. And then we have this elevator to go into another train station, I'll show you in a second. But yeah, you know, the raw quartz comes in the middle being split, and then on the side we have the mergers, merge all, because it's only 540, so we can merge it all. So it's a pretty simple one, you know, I'm not gonna spend too much on it, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below. If we go on top, you will see now that we have more station instead of just one, that is for my silica, we have another one that is for the quartz crystal. Right now it's only one. You know, again, when we get to Mark 3, we could double it, put a second one, but honestly, 540 quartz crystal, that's a lot. And so now with this, we can send this silica, of course, but also this quartz crystal back onto our main line to go into the mega factory all the way over here. So that is the quartz expansion. Now the next one I want to show you is our new iron factory. We're going to make 600 per minute of iron ingots. Of course, we can do more in the future, but I think that's a good start, right? This is going to be sent, of course, to the top, so we can send it into a station. But before, let me show you, you know, I try to make it a bit interesting. It's not just a pure block, as you can see. There is different shapes all around, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of how it ended up. You know, we have even over here a small balcony for me to look at my beautiful landscape, you know, without any factories over here. It's a preserved landscape. But more seriously, right, this is not that complex, but again, this is another great example of, now that we have the Mk5 belts, we can do super compact, efficient factories. So of course it starts with the miners over here. We're gonna have actually only 1 miner. This is this one over here. Now there is 2, but this is actually something different. As you can see, this is Caterium. So in the future we can do this Caterium, but for now I'm not even using it. The only thing I'm using is over here, this Mark II. Now this is a pure node of iron, so 600 with Mark II. It's gonna go up there. By the way, we also do have some stairs over here if we just go on top here to see what's happening. But yeah, the important thing is this iron is sent up into the actual factory here, over here, right? 600, that's going to be split between this first floor here and the second floor. It's basically the same, right? We're going to have 10 of these smelters on each floor. So 5 here, 5 there, and then again 10 more just above. So nothing crazy, you know, it's being merged on this side, goes up. We're talking about 30 to 30, right? So with those 10, we are at 300. So that's half of what we need, obviously. And that's why we can go to the next floor now over here after a quick check on the balcony. Can even go look down if you want. But yeah, we go on the stairs and we can check the next floor is basically the exact same. You will see the raw iron is coming from here, right? Being split 5, 5, then it's being merged on this side. We are also bringing the one from the floor below. So we have 600 all going into this one. There's another balcony there, by the way. On this side, you can see there's a lot more. This is actually a new one. We'll talk about it probably in the next episode. Yeah, let's go up to the last floor where we have some very important things. One is we're gonna have an awesome sink as always to make sure that this factory works 100% of the time. So that's why we have this smart splitter saying first send it here, and this is full, you can go over here. Then I do have also a storage container just in case we need some, but most importantly, we're going to send it up, right? You can see here another small balcony. We send it up and up and up into, you guessed it, a train station. So that's it, 600 per minute, pretty simple factory. In particular, I'd love to hear if you like this style, if you want to see more of those small encased, factories. They're pretty efficient. So with this, we have covered the iron. Now in the next episode, there's quite a few that we should cover. We want to look at oil to transform into rubber and plastic. Again, it's going to be a new factory, a fully optimized one, 100%. Then copper, I just want to make sure that it is working at 100% of the time. Steel is going to be important because you need it for many things. Then limestone and quick wires. And with this, we're gonna send it all to our mega factory to do radio control units so we can unlock the drones, the well extractors, and then when we've done this, we can move to the last few, the cooling system, the fuse modular frames, and the supercomputers. So there's quite a lot that needs to happen still in the next few episodes, but don't worry, this is definitely coming fast. I've already made some great progress. You can see there's something over here and others I'm not gonna tell you, some surprises. But yeah, I hope you liked this episode. Smash the like button and I hope to see you next time.